Hey there guys, it's Showcase Watches. Today bringing you a video about the Omega SPEEDMASTER and the launch, or lack of launch, from Omega on Speedy Tuesday, and what my opinion is on what I think is going to happen. Now, Omega have done a teaser. They released as a teaser on Speedy Tuesday, and it's basically a balance spring. So they've released a balance spring and they've said a tiny part that makes a big difference. So Omega have got to deliver on this promise. They can't just put a balance spring in and expect everyone to be thrilled about it. To most people, they don't know what a balance spring is. So for them to release this, it needs to be more than just a balance spring. They need to offer something a lot more. Now, what are the possibilities? I think power reserve is definitely going to be a player in it. I don't think it's the main ingredient, but I think it'll be a player. I think they could, it's unlikely, but they could be making the caliber 321 anti-magnetic. That could be a possibility. The caliber 321, which is in Omega's flagship watches, they're high flyers. They could be making that watch anti-magnetic. The caliber 321 dates all the way back to the 1940s. It is not a anti-magnetic movement. It suffers to magnetism, and in this day and age, we are surrounded by magnetism on a daily basis, whether it be your TV, any electrical appliance, you've got computers, you've got radio, speaker systems, you've got your mobile phone, all magnetic fields. So Omega could be making the caliber 321 anti-magnetic. That is a possibility. I don't think it'll be a silicon hairspring, a silicon balance spring. I think that they might be playing with something else like titanium or something. I think there's rumours going around that could be the case. I definitely think power reserve will come into it. I think, but for Omega to be making a big deal about this and launching it on Speedy Tuesday, remember we got the likes of the Ultraman released on Speedy Tuesday, so this has to be something pretty damn special to be released on Speedy Tuesday. Omega fans wait for Speedy Tuesday to come around to get excited about this stuff, so Omega have got to over-deliver. They cannot under-deliver on this. So anti-magnetic caliber 321 is a possibility. An automatic movement with 80 to 100 hour power reserve going into the Omega SPEEDMASTER Professional is a very, very, very likely scenario, because a lot of people don't buy the Omega SPEEDMASTER Professional because it's manual wind, and people who aren't into watches like you and I, who just want a nice looking watch on the wrist, if they're faced with getting a automatic watch with say 60 hour power reserve, if they've got the opportunity to buy that watch that's automatic, which they can take it off on a Friday, put it back on a Monday, and it just runs, versus a watch that needs winding every 2 days, they're going to go for the automatic watch. And I think what Omega could be doing is taking the Omega SPEEDMASTER Professional, which is the basic Omega SPEEDMASTER, the Hesselite version. I think they could take out the caliber 3861, and I think they could put in a automatic movement. I think they could put an automatic movement into the watch and make it 100 meter water resistant, because if it's not manual wind, then they can put a screw down crown on the watch. If it's not a manual wind watch, it would make sense for Omega to put a screw down crown. If they put a screw down crown on the watch, there's every possibility they'll make it 100 meter water resistance, because we know Omega possess the technology to make waterproof pushers. Look at the Planet Ocean. The Planet Ocean is a 600 meter professional diver's watch with chronograph pushers without any screw mechanism. Like the Daytona, it doesn't have to screw down. So Omega possess the technology to put waterproof pushers on a watch. So it is very likely, very, very likely, and this would be my prediction now, because I was told by a very reliable source, who so far has been pretty reliable, that in 2023, January 2023, there is an Omega SPEEDMASTER Professional being released. Now, I was told it was going to be the caliber 321. It's possible that half of that information is true. It's possible that a SPEEDMASTER Professional is getting released, but not with the caliber 321, with a automatic movement, with a new balance spring that gives 80 to 100 hour power reserve at a guess. It's got to remember, guys. Omega are making a big song and dance about this, so it's got to be impressive. 80 to 100 hours power reserve is impressive, and I think that's likely. Omega are very good at pushing the boundaries and experimenting with technologies. It wouldn't surprise me if they're not going for silicon. They might be going for titanium or some other material. They might be playing with different materials to try and, you know, get the most out of a balance spring. I think what we're seeing, this teaser, is just the tip of the iceberg. We'll know for sure on January 26th. That is when Omega are doing the full release. That's when we're seeing the full watch. Why they're not showing us it on the Speedy Tuesday, I think, is because Omega are trying to show they're trying to make a big hype about this technology, this balance spring. There's something special about this balance spring, and we don't know what it is yet. I'm not a watchmaker, so I don't know enough about balance springs to know the difference. But if you look at the pictures compared to a normal balance spring, there is some differences. Please, guys, if any watchmakers watching this, please leave me a comment in the chat, in the comments. I'd love to know what your opinion is on this balance spring, because I don't know. I'm not like I say, I'm not a watchmaker. I'm not trained in that. Omega Speedmaster. My prediction is one of two things. The unlikely is making the caliber 321 anti-magnetic. I think it's unlikely. It'd be cool, because it would mean then, you know, people can go out and buy a caliber 321 and wear it in any scenario. The most likely is a 42mm Omega Speedmaster Professional Hesselite crystal with an automatic movement. Actually, scrap that. Thinking again, they would probably leave the Hesselite version. The Hesselite version is probably the one they would keep the manual wind in, and they would put the automatic in the sapphire crystal with a sapphire case back. That would probably make more sense, thinking about it. So yeah, so let's say 42mm case, sapphire sandwich, so sapphire crystal on the front, sapphire crystal on the display back. Because it's an automatic movement, they're probably going to want to show it off, and especially if it's got this, you know, fancy part inside, they're going to want to make a big deal of it. 42mm Omega Speedmaster Professional sapphire crystal, 80 to 100 hour power reserve. Because it's not a manual wind, they'll put a screw down crown, and they'll use their technology with the pushers to make it water resistant. So it'll be 100 meter minimum. They could possibly go 150, like they do with the Aquaterra. So 100 to 150 meters water resistant. If they make this watch, if this watch exists and they make it, it is then a direct competitor for the Daytona, because Omega's, to a lot of people, Omega's negatives to the Daytona is the water resistance. The existing Speedmaster is only 50 meters. That's a negative for most people, and me included. I would like the Speedmaster to have more water resistance, because I would like to wear it more often for swimming and stuff like that. The second thing that is a big thing for a lot of people is they don't like the manual wind. You know, a lot of people just want a pick it up and go watch. They don't want to be winding it every single day. We've got to remember that myself and you guys watching this are probably purists. You probably love the connection you have with the watch when you're winding it. But for the average person, they just want a watch that you can pick up and go. So at the moment, you can go out and buy, say, like a Tudor. You could buy a Tudor chronograph for less money than a Speedmaster. The Tudor chronograph, you can pick up, you can go 200 meter water resistance, you can wind it, set the date, wind it, screw the crown down, and wear it just for 6 months and not have to worry about it. The Speedmaster, you can't do that. You've got to be in constant contact with it. So I honestly think that this could be the launch of an Omega Speedmaster Professional automatic with a new balance spring of a new material, offering 80 to 100 or more hours of power reserve and a water resistance of 100 to 150 meters. That's my prediction, because I know I was told that there was an Omega Speedmaster Professional getting launched in 2023, January of 2023. My assumption was it was going to be Speedy Tuesday. That was just my assumption, because, you know, January of each year is when they release new Speedmasters. That's when I assumed it would be. But they're making a big deal of this balance spring, so it must be something pretty cool. So guys, please let me know what you guys think. Leave me a comment in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Check out my other vids. And yeah, I'll see. Oh, sorry guys, didn't do a wristwatch check. Rolex Submariner 116610 LN. That is the date sub. in black. Yeah, guys, so I'll see you in the next one. Drop me a comment and I will speak to you later. Thanks for watching.